There are many things in life that people avoid speaking about, not because they are truly mysterious, but because they appear strange, simple, or uncomfortable. Yet wisdom often hides in the places where ordinary people refuse to look. Today we reflect on a small and unusual meeting, the meeting of salt and urine, and the quiet lesson it can teach those who observe life carefully. In this world, everything carries an energy. Water flows with memory, earth holds stability, fire transforms, air moves unseen, and within the body these elements also exist. Urine is not merely waste, it is water that has traveled through the body, carrying traces of what the body has released. It carries the story of the body in a balance, its excess and its cleansing. Salt, on the other hand, is the mineral of the earth. It preserves, purifies, and draws out what is hidden. For centuries, people have used salt to cleanse spaces, protect food, and restore balance. It is simple yet powerful. When these two meet, something symbolic occurs that goes far beyond the physical mixture. Salt begins to pull, absorb, and transform what it touches. Urine carries what the body has discarded. When the absorbing power of salt touches what has been released, the process becomes one of drawing out, neutralizing, and returning things back toward balance. But the deeper teaching is not about the mixture itself. It is about understanding how nature always moves toward harmony. What is heavy seeks release. What is impure seeks purification. What is chaotic seeks order. Observe life carefully and you will see the same principle everywhere. When negativity accumulates in the mind, wisdom acts like salt. It draws out anger, fear, and confusion. When the mind releases its burdens, clarity begins to appear. Many people search for complicated rituals and secret knowledge, believing transformation must come through something grand. But the universe often teaches through the smallest examples. A grain of salt can change the taste of an entire meal. A single thought can change the direction of a life. The meeting of salt and urine reminds us that nothing in nature is useless. Even what is rejected still participates in the cycle of balance. The body releases what it no longer needs, the earth absorbs, and transformation continues. This is the quiet law of existence: release, absorb, transform. When a person holds on to anger, it becomes poison within the mind. When they release it, the mind becomes clear. In the same way, when the body releases what it no longer needs, health is maintained. Holding on to what should be released always creates suffering. So the true secret is not in the reaction itself, but in the reflection it offers. Life constantly shows us how to let go, how to purify, and how to return to balance. Look closely at the natural world and you will see countless teachings hidden in simple things: water flowing around rocks, trees shedding old leaves, the sun rising without effort. None of these things struggle to fulfill their purpose. The wise person learns from these quiet movements of nature. They understand that transformation does not always require force. Sometimes it only requires allowing the natural process of release and renewal to happen. Salt absorbs. The body releases. Nature transforms. And within this simple interaction lies a reminder: peace comes when we stop clinging to what should be let go and allow life to move through its natural cycles of cleansing and renewal. Nature and hidden lessons, even simple and unusual natural interactions, can carry deeper wisdom about balance, purification, and transformation in life. Many people spend their lives searching for great secrets hidden in distant places, believing that wisdom must come from complicated teachings, rare knowledge, or powerful rituals. Yet the truth is often far simpler. The quiet lessons of life are constantly revealed through the ordinary things that surround us every day. Those who observe patiently begin to realize that nature itself is a teacher. Every element, every process, and every small interaction carries a reflection of the deeper order of the universe. Consider how easily the human mind ignores what appears simple. When something seems common or uncomfortable to discuss, people turn their attention away. But wisdom does not depend on what appears noble or beautiful. It reveals itself through truth, and truth often hides in places where the ego refuses to look. When we begin to observe without judgment, even the smallest details of life start to speak. Nature works through balance and cycles. Nothing exists in isolation and nothing happens without purpose. Water flows where it is needed. The earth holds and nourishes. Fire transforms what it touches. Air moves silently, yet it carries life itself. When we watch these elements carefully, we begin to see a deeper harmony that connects everything. Even the processes within the human body reflect this natural wisdom. The body constantly seeks balance. It takes in what it needs and releases what it no longer requires. This quiet process happens without pride and without resistance. It is simply the way life maintains harmony. When something has served its purpose, it is allowed to leave so that new balance can be restored. This is why paying attention to ordinary things can reveal extraordinary understanding. A simple natural interaction can mirror the way life itself works. When two elements meet, they follow their nature. They do not argue, resist, or pretend to be something else. They simply act according to the laws that guide them. Humans, however, often forget this simplicity. The mind becomes crowded with unnecessary worries, endless desires, and the need to control every outcome. In doing so, people move away from the quiet wisdom that nature demonstrates so effortlessly. They begin to believe that life must always be complicated, when in reality the deepest truths are usually the most simple. The wise person learns to slow down and observe. Instead of searching endlessly for dramatic revelations, they look at the world with calm attention. They see how every natural process reflects a principle of life: release, transformation, and renewal. Nothing remains stuck forever. Everything moves through cycles. When we recognize these patterns, we begin to understand that the universe is constantly teaching us. The lesson may appear through the flow of water, the growth of a tree, or the way the body maintains its balance. What matters is the willingness to observe and reflect. The moment we begin to see wisdom in the ordinary, our perception changes. Life stops feeling chaotic and starts revealing its quiet order. We understand that the world is not hiding its lessons from us. It is simply waiting for us to notice them. And once a person learns to observe the small things with patience and humility, they discover that the greatest teachings were never far away. They were always present in the quiet, simple movements of nature itself. Symbolism of urine. Urine represents the body in a post-natural process of releasing what it no longer needs, symbolizing the importance of letting go of excess and negativity. Urine, though often dismissed or even laughed at in common conversation, carries a story far richer than most people realize. It is not merely a waste product to be discarded without thought, but a reflection of the body in a ongoing process of balance, purification, and communication with the environment. Every drop of urine contains traces of what the body has absorbed and what it no longer requires, making it a subtle mirror of the inner state of one and health and equilibrium. To observe it without prejudice is to witness the quiet intelligence of the body at work, performing its duty of maintaining harmony within itself. When we consider urine in this light, we begin to see that it is symbolic of a greater principle, the act of letting go. The body releases what is excessive, what might disturb its internal harmony, and what is no longer of use. Just as rivers carry away leaves and debris to prevent stagnation, the body releases urine to maintain clarity and function. This process teaches a simple yet profound truth: holding on to what is unnecessary or harmful only disrupts the natural flow of life, while releasing it restores balance and enables growth. Beyond the physical aspect, urine represents a kind of natural honesty. It shows what has been consumed, what has been retained, and what must depart. There is no judgment in this process, no hesitation and no resistance. The body does not struggle to release, it does not lament the departure of what is no longer needed. It simply allows the process to unfold as it should. There is a lesson here for the human mind as well. Thoughts, emotions, and attachments that have become stale, toxic, or unhelpful must be released with the same quiet acceptance. Clinging to them creates tension, while letting them go creates clarity and peace. In many ways, urine acts as a teacher for those who are willing to observe. It reminds us that transformation begins with acknowledgement and release. Without the act of letting go, there can be no renewal. The body and a possibility to rid itself of what is unnecessary is mirrored in every aspect of life, in relationships, in thoughts, in habits, and in the cycles of nature. Everything that has served its purpose must eventually depart so that life can continue with harmony intact. Furthermore, urine illustrates that even what is often regarded as waste has a place in the larger cycle. Though discarded from the body, it can nourish the earth, support plants, and contribute to the ongoing balance of the natural world. Nothing in life exists solely to be used once and forgotten. Every element, even one as humble and overlooked as urine, participates in the greater flow of life. To understand urine in this way is to see it not as a source of shame or disgust, but as a reflection of a fundamental truth: the importance of releasing what is no longer needed to maintain balance and harmony. It is a reminder that life is not about clinging, but about allowing the natural process of flow and purification to continue. When we accept this principle, we begin to live in a way that honors both the body and the universe, finding clarity, peace, and wisdom in the simple, uncelebrated acts of letting go. Power of salt. Salt symbolizes purification and absorption, showing how certain forces in nature help neutralize and cleanse what is impure. Salt is often seen as a simple substance, something that seasons food or preserves it for later use, but its significance goes far beyond taste. It carries a quiet, transformative power, one that has been recognized throughout the natural world for centuries. Salt has the ability to purify, to draw out impurities, and to restore balance wherever it is applied. Its essence is subtle but profound, demonstrating how even the smallest elements can have a tremendous impact when they interact with the world around them. When salt comes into contact with other substances, it does not act with force or aggression. It works through absorption and transformation. It pulls out what is hidden, what is excessive, or what threatens equilibrium, and it restores a form of harmony in its place. In this way, salt can be understood as a symbol of purification. It teaches that change and cleansing do not always require violence or struggle. Often, quiet influence is more effective than overt action. The lesson is clear: even something small applied with care can create balance and clarity in situations that seem chaotic or uncontrolled. Salt and apos power is also symbolic of discernment. It does not indiscriminately absorb everything it touches. It interacts in a way that separates what is essential from what is superfluous. In the same way, human wisdom must learn to distinguish between what serves life and what hinders it. When the mind and spirit face difficulties, when negativity accumulates or confusion clouds judgment, the principle of salt offers guidance. Just as salt draws out impurities, wisdom allows the mind to release unnecessary burdens, to let go of fear, anger, or attachment, and to restore clarity. The transformative nature of salt also reminds us that even the simplest elements in life carry hidden power. Many people overlook small acts of purification, thinking that only grand gestures can produce meaningful change. Yet the universe demonstrates repeatedly that subtle, persistent influence is often more effective. Salt works quietly but consistently. It does not announce its power with noise, yet its effect is undeniable. Likewise, the cultivation of calm, patient attention and thoughtful action in our own lives can produce profound results over time. Furthermore, salt represents a bridge between the physical and the symbolic. In the material sense, it interacts with water, food, and the body, producing measurable changes. Symbolically, it mirrors processes within the mind and spirit. When faced with challenges, when encountering impurities, whether in thought, emotion, or environment, the principle of salt provides a model. Observe, absorb, neutralize, and transform. There is no judgment or condemnation, only a natural restoration of balance. Salt and apos simplicity is also its lesson. It does not seek recognition, it does not boast of its effects, yet it quietly fulfills its purpose. In life, the most profound transformations often come not from force but from subtle alignment with natural principles. When salt meets urine, it may appear unremarkable or even forbidden, yet the deeper teaching lies in how transformation occurs through natural interaction. It reminds us that every element, no matter how small or overlooked, participates in the greater work of harmony and renewal. Ultimately, salt demonstrates that true power is often humble and quiet, and that the most significant changes come from understanding, patience, and the natural ability to restore balance in a world that is always shifting. It teaches that purification, discernment, and transformation are available to all, if only we observe carefully and act in harmony with nature. Law of balance in nature: everything in the universe moves toward harmony. What is heavy seeks release, what is impure seeks purification, and what is chaotic seeks order. The meeting of salt and urine, while seemingly strange or even repulsive to many, carries a lesson far beyond the physical reaction itself. When two elements come together in nature, they do not act randomly, they follow the inherent laws that govern their existence. Salt does not choose what to purify, and urine does not resist what it carries. Their interaction is a reflection of a universal principle. Everything in life moves toward balance. There is a rhythm to existence, a silent law that governs how energy flows, how matter transforms, and how life restores itself. Observing even the smallest of these interactions allows us to glimpse the order underlying the apparent chaos of the world. In the natural world, balance is never forced. Rivers do not argue with the rocks in their path, they flow around them. Trees shed old leaves without hesitation. Seasons change in perfect timing regardless of human perception. Salt and urine in their meeting mirror this quiet acceptance of the laws of nature. Salt draws out what is excessive, urine carries what has been released, and the combination produces a subtle transformation. It is a reminder that release and purification are essential components of maintaining harmony. Everything that accumulates, whether in the body, the mind, or the environment, eventually requires cleansing. If we resist this process, imbalance occurs. If we observe and allow it, restoration happens naturally. This principle is deeply applicable to the human mind. Thoughts, emotions, and attachments that have outlived their usefulness often linger, creating tension, anxiety, and disturbance. Just as the body releases waste to maintain health, the mind benefits from releasing what is no longer necessary. Salt, in this metaphorical sense, represents the qualities of discernment, clarity, and purification. It draws out negativity, transforms what is harmful, and restores balance. When we allow ourselves to confront and release emotional burdens, we experience a similar kind of renewal, a return to equilibrium that brings peace and insight. Moreover, the interaction of salt and urine demonstrates the interconnectedness of all things. Nothing exists in isolation, and even what seems discarded or useless has a role in the broader cycle of life. Urine, once released, can nourish the earth, contributing to growth and renewal. Salt, though simple and often overlooked, maintains the integrity of what it touches. Together they illustrate that transformation is rarely about destruction, it is about connection, absorption, and subtle influence. Every process in nature serves multiple purposes, often extending beyond what is immediately visible. The lesson extends further. Life does not require dramatic intervention to restore balance. The universe operates through quiet processes, patiently guiding energy toward harmony. Small, consistent actions like the natural purification carried out by salt can bring profound results over time. By observing and learning from these natural processes, humans can cultivate wisdom, patience, and understanding. We are reminded that release, absorption, and transformation are not events to be feared, but natural processes to be embraced. In the meeting of salt and urine, there is a profound reflection of life itself. It shows us that balance is the ultimate goal, that transformation is inevitable when forces meet in harmony, and that even what seems insignificant or forbidden carries meaning. Through this interaction, we learn to observe carefully, act with clarity, and allow life to restore itself naturally, quietly, and without resistance. It is a meditation on the order, patience, and interconnectedness that governs all existence. Life lesson of release and renewal. Just as the body releases waste and nature transforms it, humans must release anger, fear, and attachments to achieve clarity, peace, and inner balance. The true lesson of the interaction between salt and urine is not merely in the chemical or physical reaction, but in the reflection it offers about the cycles of life and the path to inner balance. Life constantly moves in a rhythm of release, absorption, and transformation. Everything that accumulates, whether it is physical matter, emotions, thoughts, or experiences, requires some form of purification before it can serve its higher purpose or return to harmony. Just as the body naturally releases what it no longer needs, and salt draws out impurities, human life too depends on letting go of what no longer serves our well-being. This process is not always comfortable, but it is necessary for renewal and clarity. When people resist the natural process of release, they often find themselves burdened by unnecessary tension, negativity, and imbalance. Clinging to anger, fear, or past disappointments is like holding on to waste that the body has already chosen to discard. Such attachments create stagnation and suffering. Observing the natural interaction of salt and urine reminds us that letting go is not weakness, but wisdom. The body does not cling to what it has discarded, and neither should the mind. Release in its purest form is an act of trust in the natural order, an acknowledgement that transformation is ongoing and inevitable. Moreover, this interaction teaches the importance of purification in every aspect of life. Salt in its simplicity restores clarity and balance. It does not argue, it does not force, and it does not act with ego, it quietly fulfills its role. Similarly, the act of releasing emotional or mental burdens does not require forceful effort or dramatic gestures. Transformation often comes through subtle, consistent actions and the acceptance of natural processes. By observing and learning from this quiet wisdom, we understand that true change begins with small, mindful choices rather than grandiose efforts. The principle extends beyond personal experience to our understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. Nothing in life exists solely for itself. Every element participates in a larger cycle. Urine, though often regarded as waste, can nourish the earth and contribute to growth. Salt, though simple and humble, carries the power to purify and preserve. Together they demonstrate that even what is overlooked or dismissed has meaning and purpose. Life teaches us that every experience, every interaction, and even every discomfort carries a lesson, if we are willing to observe and reflect. Ultimately, the deepest insight of this process is that peace and balance come from surrender to the natural flow of life. Trying to control or resist the cycles of release and transformation leads to struggle, while embracing them fosters clarity, understanding, and harmony. The meeting of salt and urine may appear strange or insignificant at first glance, but it is a profound metaphor for how the universe operates, silently teaching the value of release, purification, and renewal. By reflecting on this quiet lesson, we are reminded that nothing in existence is wasted, nothing is meaningless, and nothing exists outside the flow of balance. Life continually shows us the importance of letting go, of purifying what is heavy or unnecessary, and of trusting in the natural process of transformation. In this way, even the most humble and overlooked interactions in nature offer profound guidance for achieving peace, clarity, and inner wisdom.